This is where we fight!
Mars versus Venus.
They say men are from Mars and women are from Venus, but me and think that divide wide enough to talk about the gap between us. Rabs, Bacchanal and contention, we have all of that in this session. Let we talk man and woman thing, warriors, jammets, queens and kings. We are sure if men are from Mars and women are from Venus, but a little comments on a Friday. Jaiga, Raw, Rody versus Abby. 3 man and 1 jammet from South. That is what we talking about.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, let's get problematic here this morning.
Well, yeah, I don't know, you know.
No, it's not me. It's just the universe created. And we will just dissect it here now and see how people take it.
I woke up this morning. I said, we just taking it light. We're taking it easy to making it through the day. And then Jaiga came. Rody came in studio and chose violence.
Hey, not me. Don't put me in that.
It's really
Rody. It
Rody.
wasn't me.
Because he could have let it slide. But no.
Not me at all. All right, guys. I want to say welcome to This is Mars versus Venus. For those of you who are new, every Friday we try to have conversations about men and women. What's going on? Something real loud. Something super, super loud.
Right.
Yeah. We try to have conversation about men and women, different perspectives and how people take things and how others take it. And because of the conversation this morning, we decided we're going to go in this particular direction.
Right. So let me give you some context again if you are now joining us. There is a social media blogger, social media personality that came into the limelight, I want to say like in the last 2 years or so, Kevin Samuels, who transitioned last night. Apparently there's also talk, just to give you extra context, they are saying that it was a drug overdose, coke and fentanyl, which resulted in a heart attack. That's the talk online. But he was a huge proponent, supposedly, of certain viewpoints, etc. He has been described as many things, one of which is misogynistic. Whew. So one of the last things he said before his transition, he said, if you're unmarried at 35, you're a leftover woman. That's one of the last gems he left us with. So this morning, we're going to talk about that idea, if you're on, but across the board. I know. And I can't hide it in my face either. And now we're on camera, so I need to be, my face needs to be in check. We're talking about that age. We hold on to certain stereotypes in terms of limiting ourselves as it pertains to certain things we're supposed to do by certain ages, etc. So we're talking within the framework of a relationship.
Right.
Single over 35. Well, first of all, we have to define what we mean by single, because there are some people who think once you're not married, regardless of whether you're in a supposed relationship or not, once it's no ring on your finger, you're single. There's some people who feel like that. So when we say single, what do we mean?
I think we mean single as in, nobody, not checking, yeah. You probably just get a little late night call here or there.
Right.
But
miscellaneous jam and whatnot.
You're not even courting, you ain't doing nothing.
There is no emotional interest in you whatsoever.
Right. So
just you and your cat.
Wow. And crocheting. So clearly,
you all are using stereotypes that clearly is attached to women, but this is across the board. We're talking
yes,
about
of course,
you and your football and your PlayStation.
Yeah.
You, your football, your PlayStation. You, your cat, your crochet, whoever, right?
If you just to be equal ground.
Do you think, guys, that we still hold on to that stereotype of you should be attached by a certain age, and are the standards different for men and women?
Yes, we do.
It is different for men and women, and it's a stereotype that's been there forever.
Yep.
We have not unlearned it yet. And people the ones who experience it early and realize that it's all a hype, they operate in a different manner.
Right.
A different frequency.
And they operate in a different frequency. Like me, for instance, if you I will get personal, like I did the whole shack up thing early in life. Because you grew up seeing uncles and aunts and whatever. I wanted to experience what it feels like
So shock up.
Yeah.
You wanted a madam.
But yeah, how you can live life and then have somebody to wake up at 2 in the morning and just feel a vibe and they're like,
throw your leg
"Eh."
over and
And
thing.
yeah, you must want to experience that in life. So I did that early.
But you had to be married to do that?
No, that's the thing.
Sorry,
We-
Team Jesus who's listening in, you know.
Team Jesus will say you're supposed to be married,
Yes.
but if we're being honest with self,
Yes.
we have seen it happen for eons.
Yeah.
You understand? There are people who held out. There's some women who, no, not at all. They're not ever doing it at all. They're going to stay true to themselves and true to what they believe, which I respect. And you also have to respect things like that. But if we're being fair, as I said, fair to self and
Right.
time, we have seen for decades upon decades people who have done the whole. That's why laws came in like common law.
Yes,
that came into
that's
power
right.
because of that. People shared lives together without going down
And
the
then
altar.
people die and
Correct.
they have nothing to get.
Exactly. So those laws came into play because of that.
Hmm.
You understand? So now, just for conversation, in the 2022 that we're living in here now, the hot 2022, as a man, you're over 35, you live at home with your parents, right? How do you see yourself? How do you view yourself? Do you view yourself as accomplished?
As leftover?
Do you view yourself as leftover? Do you think you can offer a pair young lady who's mirrored to you anything?
Right.
Because if you putting things on paper, I home my mother, you home my mother, two of you home my mother, right?
Saving money on rent.
Saving money and rent, as they say, because that's what people do. I know a lot of people who buy their mother who ain't had no money for nothing. But we won't go into that next
35?
conversation. Yeah.
Right.
But we won't go into that. They buy their mother, they still have no money for nothing. All the years they're working, they still have nothing. But I ain't none of my business.
Capitalism. It's not
Right?
their fault.
So-
Capitalism.
The conversation that you and a young lady have to have.
You worthlessness, sir.
No, you see, that you casting aspirations. How is that worthlessness?
Go ahead now, go ahead now.
So now you going to chat up a young lady who's in the same exact position. I'm guessing then you're on an equal playing field.
No. Yes.
I'm guessing. This
Yes.
is a
At
guessing.
least you would think.
You will think that it's equal because I am home my mommy daddy, you home my mommy daddy.
Right.
I'm working a regular job, you working
Right.
a regular job. You have a back room that you had since you were 4. I have a back room that I had since I was 4.
Wow.
What I did is, okay, I got older, things started to change. I bought a bed. You understand?
PlayStation.
And what's your boy name again? Your condition man name? He company?
Need cool?
Yeah, and you're my new cool and I get a thing.
Right.
I buy 18,000 BTU, so high condition. Right? I did that. Wait now, what you doing?
He's so helpful. He's so helpful.
That right is the most
Ghetto. I love it.
ghetto I have
I
ever
love
seen.
it. High five.
Now it's
Boom,
about
bang.
6 times in fall free morning so far.
Rudy,
So I have to do
that.
something,
Use
Judge.
at, you know them twisted it for wrong a kiss, bread?
No, it's a paper clip that he bent open and
To
twist.
pin up Abby headphones from
Yeah.
falling. Wow. Anyways, I'll distract me there with
Because
that
that's
one.
my friend, and that is what
So-
friends is do for friends.
You now
almost busted
feel
lip just
you
now.
feel comfortable. You feel comfortable within self to have a conversation with a young lady who is in the exiled position with you. But I'm asking them as a man. In that position, there is a young lady that you are physically attracted to, who ticks all the boxes. Same age, gorgeous.
Both are already over 35.
Yeah,
Right.
gorgeous, but a little more accomplished in earthly things. And when I say earthly things, I'm talking about what the system or what we consider worldly,
Right.
where we've been taught to believe that at a particular age you have to have this. So she is unmarried, but on the other side, she acquired a lot of stuff.
She
has
have
a
her
great
things.
job.
That's how we call it. She have she
She
things.
have her things.
Yeah, she
she
have she
doesn't
things.
use her mommy's car.
Right.
She functions on her own.
She have she things. She have she things.
She's a
Properly put
beautiful
together.
auntie
Yes.
as well. Her
Yes.
sisters are married with children,
Yes.
and
She's the
takes
best godmother
she's
ever.
the best godmother on
Yeah.
the planet. How does a man now in that position approach
A woman of that nature.
a woman of that nature?
Status and
So in that position, does the
So
man
tempted to say
feel?
don't, but I'll behave.
So I'm asking guys out there: do you feel intimidated in a position like that? How do you feel as a man? Do you feel less than?
And that is very, very interesting because the picture that you just painted there, despite the fact that she have all her things, you have people, the personalities, the Kevin Samuels of the world, who will still call a woman like that leftover by virtue of the fact that she's single and over 35. You understand what I mean? But a man who is in the same age bracket, who may not necessarily have as many accomplishments, and I'm not saying that we should judge people's worth based on
we
those
should.
accomplishments.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
But society has painted a brush of
Right.
that and saying that he's just
So
unfortunate.
Exactly.
He's
But-
bad lucky. He
but
had a
the-
bad investment.
The hot patriarchy has made it such that a man over 35 is not viewed as damaged goods, is not viewed as leftover, despite what he has or hasn't accomplished, despite how many partners he has had, how many failed relationships. He may even have a child or two here and there, you know, but the same in terms of how we view it, you know, women, the opposite then in terms of how we view women in the same age bracket is markedly different. You know, there are those of us who operate, however, where we just don't care. We do what we have to do, and we have moved away, or we are in an effort trying to move away, or trying to exist in a system that still sees us a certain way, but playing it on our own terms, so to speak. You know what I mean? But it's very, and that's why the Kevin Samuels of the world are so provocative, because what he does is he gives voice to a lot of the things that people are still desperately holding on to. And we always have to question, what belief systems do these things come from? We tiptoe around it. We tiptoe around it, but some of the more traditional religious belief systems are the systems that are still telling us that our worth is very much tied to whether we are tied to a man, you know, whether we have children or not, etc., etc. So this is it's a very, very interesting conversation to have. So ladies, how do you feel in terms of where you are at in life? Do you tie your self-worth or what you see as your personal success, do you measure it in terms of whether you are married, whether you have children, alongside all of the other things? So it's going to be interesting. Let me see what people are saying inside the chat now.
Let's visit.
Let's take a little
hot
visit.
chat. See what conversations like this, people is free there.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
saying.
I know.
Yeah.
I
people
know.
they
Free
tend to stay away
conversations
from
like
it.
That's all right.
So as you get together, there are a lot of young ladies now on especially platforms like TikTok who coming out and they're speaking about their success, right? What they have accomplished over their career and schooling, and now they have reached a point now where they have all the success. They are very accomplished in their career and their respective fields, and now they're tired now, boy. Right?
Yeah.
They're tired. They now want to be in a position where they just want to nurture. They no longer want to provide. And I've seen that conversation too many times happening now.
Yeah.
So is it that at some point in time, even though a woman is successful and she has done what she needs to do, and at a certain age, the question arises, I really just feeling to rock back and let a man take the lead now?
I hear you, and there are moments when I'm like, it'd be nice to not have to do certain things all by myself. Sometimes I do have those moments, you know, like I don't really want to fight up with the car. It'd be nice to have somebody who, you know, like it's also the way the systems are wired. Being partnered is actually easier living in a lot of ways, financially, etc., than, you know, being on your own. So you have those moments where you go, yeah, it'd be nice.
Because what they're saying is that naturally,
But to say,
naturally they're not like naturally they just want to be nurturers now. Like they get it now.
okay.
Like it click at a certain age. Like
Okay.
yo, I've been going at this really hard for a while now, and I just really.
But that's a personal
tired.
thing. If it is you wake up one morning and you decide that that's what you want, that's cool. But for the women who never have that eureka moment where like, okay, I'm ready to, you know, fill a particular role in that way, do we still allow, how do we deconstruct society still viewing them a certain way? You understand what I mean? This idea of dictating women's pace in particular, because we don't dictate men's pace the way we dictate women's pace.
And the young lady saying, she don't care. Broke men don't deserve no vagina at all. None. I don't care. The system is built for you all, so you get nothing. You have no money, steal from me.
You see that part about the system is built for you all?
Yeah, the system is built for men, so you have no money. You shouldn't think about girl.
We were talking about that a few days ago in terms of operating within patriarchy. And that's what she means when she said the system is built for you all.
35 plus, still living at home, had no fair relationship, isn't looking good. Isn't going to happen. She's not saying this is going to happen. It's just it doesn't happen yet, and she's not stressing.
She's not stressing. There you go.
Right? That's cool. That's cool.
No voice notes, everybody.
Yeah, it have voice notes. People sending voices and deleting it.
I'll be in my feelings a little bit. Yeah, if she more successful than me, yes, I could understand that. But if the vibe good, you gotta go the vibe, because that could be the one. You know, and if that's the one, you gotta go with it.
Is that real G though?
There you go.
Is that one way?
You see, I'm feeling a little excited. Yeah, I'm feeling hurt a little bit, but
see, but it's great that he could admit that he might feel a how, but if that's the one, that's the one.
Yeah.
But it's the why you feeling a how though?
Yeah, why
because the system make you feel a how. It pressure you into feeling a how.
Exactly.
Maybe is saying she has to gather her thoughts and come back on this one. She can't really address it right now. She's gonna come back.
No, with Kevin Samuels, if you was really following him and thing, he had a very, regardless of the fact that he was very provocative, how he used to talk to women may have been kind of harsh. He had a genuine interest in the black community, in the growth of the black community. Hence the reason why he used to come down kind of hard on women. Now, as it relates to that scenario with the over 35, his main thing is that the basic molecule of our society is the family, right? And you can't have families if you have a bunch of women over 35 not married. So it's all about him pushing family values, which basically come back to the traditional way of thinking.
You couldn't leave your laugh after the
You couldn't leave that laugh after.
Rob say you can't have families if you have a bunch of women over 35 unmarried. That are still.
Abio. Morning on.
Hi, sweet pea.
Listen, Kevin say always say, and that particular statement he made, it was at that moment the universe changed his expiry date. Right? So, all of us who was offended by that statement, and yes, you know the one I'm talking about, let me get over it by weekend. Let me don't carry it into Monday.
Thank you.
Yeah, the whole weekend, get over it. Because the universe answer the cry first.
Situation.
In such a way that we didn't even expect. So, in the meantime, all them aunt and them in Trinidad, when you meet a young lady and they ask, oh, Charlene, how old are you? Well, I'm 32. You have kids? Yeah, one. They're leading over second-hand woman. You know nobody in burning them out.
Wow.
You know that usually them ain't getting burned out for that.
Wow. Got the voice long.
My first part, good morning. This conversation is me. I still live at home. But I made that conscious decision to stay home because somebody have to do it. And it's a good thing I was wrong when something happened, or else my dad wouldn't be here today.
That's right.
So I understand why somebody is stay home, but I also understand why you're saying some people be home and they never have no money for nothing. And the way society judges persons who stay home, especially men, not so much women, but men, they made off. But I was having a conversation with a young lady the other day and she was judging me full 100. But when I observed her situation, she lives at home, never have no money because she always asking people for money borrow. Always asking people for the man to borrow change. And she traveling. And you have nothing. But you're judging me who have things. So
Hey, brother.
That's how it is, just.
All right, brother.
Why you still talking to your ex-wife?
But you're judging me who have things.
And you are not too.
But that thing you talk about there, that Jaiga was giving you the side eye, eh? He gave you the side eye, but then when he heard the justification, he came down a little bit. Because I am also testament of that in terms of I had plans, I had great grand plans. I was supposed to be the girl that is come home for carnival. I had planned to be that girl, the girl that is come home for carnival. And
When
then
duty called.
duty called. I am an only child.
Yeah, you can't.
There was a health concern. What do I do? And therefore,
duty call. That's
duty
fine.
call.
The mantle, yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? And there
That's
are
fine.
men for whom, it's always have that one child. Even if you're not an only child, there are some men for whom they are that child in the family for whom responsibility falls. Yeah, there you go. Right? There's always that one.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a son. And that's fair. So this is the problem with painting with a broad brush, because you don't know the specifics of people's situations.
Correct.
You don't know the specifics of people's situations.
And everybody's situation is different.
That's right. And then the other thing is, people within the millennial age brackets, in terms of the way the financial system is set up, the way we use the C word here all the time in jest, but it is a very serious thing. There is
to catch your tail.
Yeah, there's a generation, particularly millennials, for whom home ownership is like it's receding into the distance. That whole
my
concept
hairline.
of
Like men hairline.
yes, it's receding.
Yep.
And that is just pure. And we are the most educated generation, they say. Millennials have the most amount of degrees. We literally spend our whole life in school. And for what? Meanwhile, little TikTokers, and I'm happy for Gen Z. I'm real happy for them. Them little 9-year-olds on TikTok.
Making way more than you ever making.
What is my problem?
Millions.
You understand? So,
I tell you, there needs to be a whole systematic overhaul of the educational system, because it's in a shambles. But that's a whole next conversation.
Yes.
Right now, we're talking about how the man expressed himself as a man. He said, listen, he will feel slighted, because society has always put that knapsack on us, that we are supposed to be the breadwinners, you are supposed to be. And in some instances, people turn to you without, and a lot of people do it, and they're not wrong for doing it, but they don't stop to think about how the person on the other side feels. Like, there's some women who it's expecting that a man have to do certain things, but the manner in which they carry about their daily life and expectation that the man has to do it comes off as offensive.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that. Like, you in a relationship with a dude, and you know what, he's supposed to do certain things or whatever, but that's in the manner in which you carry about yourself while he's doing it, it rubs him the wrong way.
Expectations.
And that is something that everybody needs to look at, because men do it with women. You expect a woman to do a particular thing in a way that you feel, and one of the problems, I don't know for the Gen X, but I know our generation went through this, I personally, where your mother...
Why are you calling us on the WhatsApp?
Your mother created a lot of problems for their sons. Mothers created a lot of drama and them caused real problems because of how they operated. Like, I always make jokes. I have never seen my mother with a broom or a mop in life. What? Never. I never see a dirty house. Don't ask me how. It's a miracle. But they did it. I have never literally seen her pull a broom.
But the house always clean.
House always clean.
Because that means when all you're sleeping in the night,
correct.
she is up.
That generation operated differently, brother. And they knew the assignment was their assignment. I'm not saying that's the assignment for now. In those days, the assignment was, I have a man and I make 4 or 5 children for him, and this is how I function.
And the children,
yep, and the children never really had to take the burden of that. You understand?
Particularly the boys.
Especially the boys. And me being the only boy, I experienced I experienced that for a long time. So me, in my adolescence, getting into young manhood, trying to navigate how to be with women and how to operate, I used to look at them as girls, nice girls, like chewing the bush because a cup and sink and thing. I always make that joke here because I just didn't know what that was. It's a turn off for me because I never see it.
Eating spoon.
Yeah.
Eating with spoon and thing, he lock you off, you know.
I lock you off. If I go by you twice and I see 2 cups in the sink, I vex.
We know.
I'm not on you.
Show it after.
Again, it's all about what the expectations and the stereotypes and
but as you get older, you learn.
And that is also linked to what's happening. Let me take a look at what's happening in the US in terms of the Roe versus Wade and feeling as though societal systems have a right to women's bodies and our lives and this kind of thing. You know what I mean? In terms of if you over and that's the whole idea of being left over after 35, because what you're telling me then is that there are certain roles that I am mandated to fulfill, otherwise my womanhood is in question. So if I'm not happy homemaker, if I haven't incubated children for 9 months, It matters not what else I may have accomplished.
You have not given anything to society.
No, I have not contributed to society.
Church and state. And listen, if people going and fight you down to the ground and
I
that's
know.
Yeah, greetings to the O2 family. Abby, just rock back and drink some water and stick in the information. Just rock back and drink some water because I can hear it in your voice. I can hear it. Have a blessed one.
Me know what it is he's referring to, but okay.
Yeah, 961 to each his own. That man will be know what he talking about. Some like it in coffee, some like it in tea, some like to name it creepy.
What he don't say that? I lost.
We lost.
That your weed man different.
Morning. I just really enjoy this program and I've listened to it. It'll be nice and thing. But all of that study what it's been doing, and I asked Jaiga this already. You know how much woman all they are watching the man cut tie and thing with this 35 boy all they creating real bacchanal.
Yes.
Men back Rose going and sell out today, and ring. All they
Rose and ring, you're welcome.
Bacchanal all they creating this weekend. All they wicked boy. Oh God.
No. But
I want buy my rose quicker.
Well, brother, you have a guilty heart. But understand this. I spoke on the men's side, if you remember, because I am speaking from a place of there are men who are experiencing that right now as we speak.
Right.
Who are trapped in that whole scenario. If we being honest, there are men who are not fortunate like others, and one of the peer pressures two men go through is your peers. The fact that you in a work environment with a brethren who all their life, to you all they equal, but he was just granted, or maybe he made a different move to you and he accomplished a little more under societal standards. You understand? So it's like how let me talk Trinidad for here, and not only Trinidad, there's the black community. The first thing a young man is taught to do, 17, is do what? Work. No, before and
go and get a license.
Thank you very much. Go and get your license. When you bounce up a 30-year-old man right now and he don't drive and don't have a car, you immediately write him off.
I admit that I have feelings about that as well.
You see, you automatically
here's why my
feeling. There's a very thin line between
I just feel
and
like
just complete and utter worthlessness.
You see?
I just feel
I know, but that's how unfair it
society
is. We look at it as being worthlessness. How about a man, hold on, at 9, look like me, I'll use me for instance, at 9 o'clock, I hear me at 9 o'clock. When you were 9, you're in a bad vehicle accident, you lost your mother.
That's fair. That's fair. Trauma.
You traumatized, you just might not want to drive ever.
Right.
That's how I feel about the water.
Right.
My first experience to the beach, I lost 2 friends same time.
You want nothing with beach.
I want nothing to do with that, brother. You understand? To this day, I'm a big man now, and I just watch that cut eye. I cool. I rely on that because my experience was really, really bad. You're talking about you leave home happy, everybody, and you ride back home, the hour and a half drive back home, the tire maxi crying, everybody in community. I listen, what going on? I leave home happy, going back sad. So in a case like that now, but again, a man will get the chance to have that conversation because from the time a girl on the outside look at him and say, you don't drive, you don't judge him one time. You understand? And that's what we do with women and their
reproductive rights.
From the time she has
biological clock.
Yeah, you in a chair.
You over 35?
And you're in a chair and you don't start to look down. That's the system.
Now we also understand too the science behind certain things as well. And there are women out there who want to get married and they want to have children and all that kind of stuff. And there are some
want a particular type of man. He has to do this, he has to do that.
But in terms of biological clock.
Really, man.
The point is, after 35, your fertility rates do go down. That's just the science. That's the biology of it. So there are, he said, drying up, you know.
You cannot say that, brother.
Listen, it's not me saying it.
It's drying up. You see that scientifically written somewhere? It
dry up. Where you ever see that say drying up?
It dry up. That the woman has dried up.
See that Facebook.
It has dried up.
Facebook, Abby, Facebook.
I just, wow. The University of Facebook,
disrespectful,
right? So there are some women for whom the 35 thing is a be-all and end-all in a kind of a way because they don't want to have children outside of the traditional, as they call it, wedlock. And after 35, things for many women get difficult in terms of conceiving. Not all. There's some women who are fertile myrtles till the day they're dead, and that's fair. But, well, at least till they reach menopause. But for some women, especially where you have concerns like polycystic ovaries and endometriosis and all these kinds of things, for whom conception becomes difficult. So there are women who are listening here and watching the man Katai because You say you want certain things. I'm getting older. What we doing?
Yeah, what we go do here?
What we doing?
Mindy, you harsh, but Mindy says, sorry, a man who can't drive is a failure. Move on.
Here's how.
Wow. Wow.
Here's how I feel about that driving thing.
Wow.
My thing is, if we have an emergency,
Damn, bro.
when I hear a man can't drive,
You think
I
failure?
be like, I don't think failure. My thing is
Oh, your
be like,
confident voice.
I feel like
can't drive.
can't drive. I pull out Jessica. When a man can't drive, I think if we have an emergency and I cannot drive, what we doing? We pack up.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick me up and go to the hospital,
Police, ambulance.
what you gonna do? You run
Phone
with
a
me on your
friend.
back?
Phone a friend.
Yeah, that makes me a little nervous.
Wow.
That makes me a little nervous.
So same way the woman has standards.
That makes me a little nervous.
It's alright for the men to have standards too, right?
Yeah.
All the breakfast party money Ojo. I had to pull back a little bit because I wanna, as I say, gather my thoughts before I say what I need to say. But society has it that if you're a 35-year-old man and you still living downstairs by your mommy, you are considered a waste man.
Mommy.
So everybody had the cross to carry.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that statement.
Well, if
know
you live in
now.
downstairs by your mother, you're a waste man.
I know now.
At 35? Then elaborate.
No, well, I mean, if it is you as a man, you looking for certain things, right? Like me, I always wanted family. I want to settle down. I want to move out. I had ambition, outside
That
of
type of
outside of
ambition.
yes, outside of my
Correct.
mother's home.
Right, gotcha.
You understand?
Right.
But it have men. I know a Bridget who have a business, making money and taking care of his mom and his dad and living home in
Yeah.
our back room.
Yeah.
You understand? And he probably now started courting or whatever the case is.
Responsibilities,
But what I'm saying, his purpose.
He's the only
or-
child?
No, he's not. He has
Oh,
two
okay.
sisters,
But
they're
he's
not
that
living
child. He's that son.
He's that son,
Yeah,
that's
he's
it.
there.
always
That
have
son,
one.
You
He's
know what I
always
mean?
have one.
He dating,
Yeah.
he's seeing somebody right now, but he ain't leaving his mother and his father there.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's
So
understandable.
that's understandable.
And honorable.
So it's according to what you want. So people probably not looking for kids right now, and he not looking to.
But this
So-
is what the guy was saying.
Yeah.
Society
Correct
standards.
is
you know.
right.
Nobody. This is a standard that society puts on you. You within yourself have to know your
What you
standard.
want?
Yeah,
What
what
you
And
you
a
want?
lot of men in particular get caught up with the societal standards and bounce their head and make mistakes.
But women too.
Yeah.
Women too.
You understand?
a lot
We
of
make
women.
mistakes where you tell yourself, okay, let me do this because this is what is expected of, not really wanting to do it
Facts.
half-heartedly.
Facts.
You understand? I've been through that. You make moves in your life where you feel as though there's a move I should make because you know why? This is how you go look.
Yes.
You go look a particular way, I go do it so, I go do it so. When you know it in yourself, then you
That's
know what
not
you
what
want to
you want
do.
to do.
Correct
Yeah.
is right. You're only doing it because
You're doing it because
Yeah.
you feel it's expected of you.
Yeah, from your mother and your
And
father, you said
I
drill it in
didn't
the head.
have, I did not have someone in my corner to express those things
Mm-hmm.
or to make me feel as though it is okay to not do it.
To make a different choice.
To make a different choice. And this is what I feel is our responsibility now to let this generation, that's what this generation been functioning.
they
they ain't
breaking them
waiting
barriers.
No.
for you
They're
to
breaking
say,
them barriers.
they,
Them ain't going
them
through.
watching
Gen
you like,
Z have no time with us
they
and
don't have
our
time for that.
stereotypes and
No
all that
time.
nonsense.
they're not operating
They
in that
really
space.
don't.
They're doing whatever they feel to do.
Yeah.
If we had done that, we would have been in a happier space, I think,
Yeah.
mentally. A lot of us go through a lot of trauma and had to deal with it later on in life because we made stupid decisions before. So you reach a point where, fortunately for some, you acquired the worldly things by what society believe that you should have here. Okay, you might have get a little house early, you drive in, you have all them things, but internally, you're sad.
No,
You upset. You say, you know what days I wake up and this one come here.
I just saying.
You know what mornings I walk up on the hill and I just watch you.
Even though we want people
I watch
to,
you. I watch you edge of the precipice and just be like,
Wow.
No, we
What's the worst that could happen?
bro, we want people to live their best lives. We want people to follow their passion, follow their dreams, live a fruitful life, a life that you wouldn't regret, right?
Right.
But there's a certain line, there's a certain undertone of conversation there where you're living in Trinidad. Let me be real. You're living in if you was living in LA or something and you ain't license and cool, but you're living in Trinidad, right? You're living in Trinidad, dog, right? You're dating somebody, you know the crime rate, yeah, where certain things are wrong here. If you're 35, going on 40, dog, and you can't change a tire, or you ain't your license, daddy, at least, that's the bare minimum, Jed.
by whose
Of
standard?
You're
of
borderline
requirements.
in worthlessness.
Requirement for
bare minimum,
manhood.
Bare minimum to who?
That is where men start to delve into the category of leftover at 35.
You're
Is
borderlining.
that it?
You're
So you
borderlining.
say-
You're borderlining. You're borderlining. What?
So you judging a man. So because a man can
Daddy.
change a tire at 35 and could drive, he's a what? He's a waste man. He
Man
I'm
know
not
can't
saying
drive.
he's a waste man.
he what?
Yes, I'm saying he's a waste man.
He's saying, say it with your
And-
chest.
And
Say it with your chest.
with women, if it's 35 and over, there's bare minimum. There's bare minimum. I don't get bare minimum.
Let me hear this minimum.
Bare minimum.
Let me hear this
There's
minimum.
bare minimum.
Mhm.
If you can turn at least one meal, daddy, just one meal.
So,
Hold on,
you
now,
don't
hold
eat?
on, now, hold on. Yes, I does eat.
Well, all right.
But just one meal, just just one.
Why is this
Just
specific
one.
to women? Shouldn't this be everybody over the age of
No,
35?
he-
Because
he's
everybody does
breaking
eat.
it.
What I'm
He's
saying
breaking
is,
it
Shouldn't
down.
that be it?
Hold on,
He's
now,
breaking
hold
it
on.
down, Abby. He's
See,
breaking. Let him break it down.
You see, we just always get judgmental, you know, right? At the end of the day, men and women have different roles once they're in a relationship, right? Now, if the woman comes into the relationship and she could change tire, then cool. I'm not
But
saying
you
that
know, see if a man can change a tire at 21, at 35.
at 35,
Wait,
though,
pause. Wait, Rodel,
He's a failure.
35. Listen,
Rodel.
I don't want us to shut down somewhere. We shut down somewhere, right? And the both of us watching each other in the face.
it's called roadside assistance. Rodel,
No,
hear this now.
roadside assistance.
It's called roadside assistance.
Roadside assistance,
Pause.
Abby.
Pause.
What is
Rodel.
wrong with having a skill set? That is my thing.
I'm
not,
saying
I'm
if you
not
have it,
telling
great.
you what to do, you know. But what is wrong with acquiring
it.
Hold
a
on.
particular skill set?
I could trim.
Why do we always have to class it as you're telling me what to do, or you feel like I'm made,
Rodel.
or it's just a skill set? That's all it is.
Excuse.
Right? If you
Excuse.
was a woman,
Excuse
if you
me.
was a woman could change a tire
Ooh.
and I could cook, then cool. But we just like to separate
Excuse.
things too much, boy. I doesn't agree with that. The separation. The separation is what's gonna handle.
Excuse me.
One man supposed to be
Let's-
doing, one woman supposed to be doing.
Let's unpack
Yeah,
what's.
you-
Let's
yeah,
just
let me
let's
go now.
unpack what just happened
Before
there.
unpacking,
let's
come on, we remember
Let's just
this is not
unpack
for
what
us
happened
alone.
there.
This is
It's
not for us
Abby, you
alone.
want
right?
a waste, man?
Hold on.
At this age, you want
Can
a
I
waste,
attend?
man?
We coming back to
At
this,
this
eh?
age, you want a waste, man?
A man is.
No, hold on, I want to ask her something. At this age,
It
Abby,
depends on
It
what.
depends on
want
how
to
you categorize in
categorize
waste
waste.
and
all
waste,
right.
man.
Okay, what do you look for in a man right now?
No,
That's
well,
the
you see,
next
that's not what I want to talk
conversation.
about right
Hold
now.
on,
I want
hold
to talk
on,
about
hold
what I
on.
want to talk about, what
Hold
you was
on.
just talking about.
Hold on.
I can ask a question.
Hold on. You can. We'll get back to that.
understand?
Pause.
So, am I wrong as a father to build a house for my son to get married in? Know that what you are is fortunate.
Yes.
And we applaud you, my guy.
Good job.
Yeah,
You
man.
understand?
Yeah,
we
man.
applaud you. If we have many more fathers like you, we'll have a
Mine
way
going
happier
on.
world.
Legacy. That's great.
That's
Fantastic.
legacy. We
Fantastic.
appreciate the fact that you're even thinking that, listen, your role as a father is to create something so that
Right.
your son can have
Nice.
it when you get married.
Yes, boy.
Kudos
brother,
to you, clappers to
Get
you,
him.
my friend. No,
Get
you are
him.
not a bad father at all, but what we're speaking on is in a majority.
Right.
In a majority of that happening, you understand, where fathers just out there
Just
building
move
homes
on
for
from the conversation. I don't
for
understand.
good look at message.
Take a few
Be
so we
lying
can come
and
back
all
to
going.
Oh
this.
my God.
Take a few.
It's Candy Son. Nah, but it's too much thing to read. But look.
People writing dissertation.
It's a whole dissertation here.
Jeez and ages.
Oh, wow.
Sis.
Better you send what you need to say in a voice. What point from I can't play a voice note. Your voice note is over 2 minutes. Come on. Guys, I understand all your passions and everybody wants to put a voice
like
in.
it.
But you can't
Play
have
30
a
seconds of it. Play 30
2-minute voice
seconds.
note.
Yeah, that is a
Play 30
wow.
seconds.
Everybody choose a certain lifestyle. They want certain things. I don't mind a man over 30 not having a car. He may have a house. He may be planning for a house. A house is more important than a car.
That nice, yes.
Alright, okay.
Yes.
Still have ambition,
All
still
right.
working
But you are in the
towards something.
minority here. Every girl inside this WhatsApp saying if you're not driving is a failure. Just letting you know. Just letting you know.
In the morning.
I'm just saying
Brody
PDS
Bado
is
study
not
them. I
really-
going down dine with you. If I meet a woman older than 35, you had to be able to give me more than a hot dog to eat.
Oh, wow.
That's that.
Oh, wow. Oh, God. Hey, slowly, Ali, watch all your words. Watch all your words. Watch all your words.
But on the topic with the biological clock, yeah, I think, I mean, my wife, she's what, only 33 this year, and I'm going to be 40, Chuckman again. And I feel like I'll hit menopause already because I have an almanac that I just mark the days when I get, and leave all the days when I don't, and sometimes it's like about 5 for the month, 7 for the month. And she say, hey, I's a working woman. When I come home, I tired.
Okay.
I just want to eat and go in my bed.
Wow. But that was a little personal, guy.
Wow, now everybody
Now
know.
everybody know that.
Everybody know you only having sex 5 times
5
a
to
month.
7 times a month.
Everybody know. Wow.
Morning breakfast party. It's Benicia. How's everyone doing?
Hey girl.
So
Hey.
this particular subject, I feel definitely hurts on both sides of the party, men and women. For me personally, I'm 32 years old, as you all know. I have a 9-year-old. I've an amazing job, but I also live with my grandparents.
Right.
So the whispers from the tanties, from extended family, oh, Benicia's not married. Ting ting ting. But the only reason why the whispers stopped is my grandfather is 92 years old. My grandmother is 87 years old. So it stopped because it looked into more of I was helping my grandparents. So the marriage conversation has stopped, and they never had to have a conversation about me making children because I already did that. Unbeknownst to them, I have endometriosis, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to make a next child. You know what I mean? Because fertility rates, etc. But it is disheartening to hear the whispers, the looks. A next wedding Benicia going to, and she doesn't have a man, or if I do have a man, it's just a boyfriend, and ting. So it is difficult.
Too fast.
Yeah, they're too damn fast.
Tanti and them need to mind the business.
They're too damn fast.
Tanti and them need to mind the
Mind
business.
the damn business. You going out there and enjoying
Thank
yourself
you.
as you and small man living all your best life.
Me understand.
You don't need no man, girl. To hell with them.
I'm to them, boy.
To hell with them. To hell with them.
Hi guys, good morning. I was having this conversation with my aunt just last week. And she's like, Avril, it's time to settle down and pray to God that you get a husband.
God is always in the mix.
Summer coming and it have many men out there. Good, and I nothing to being frustrated. Right? I go play 50 Cent through.
Wow. No. That's a thing that we see in the black community. But I pray that you get somebody.
They always praying,
You pray. Why you pray for your damn self?
Yeah, listen. I'll pray for you. I'll pray for
your damn self. Every time you're praying for you to get somebody good. Listen, people, this boy, that's a man telling this boy to tell them all this thinking, but you can't.
This is why we avoid family reunions.
All this thinking must be your mother.
You understand?
That's
your family.
Them say, yeah, can't tell them that.
I just want to touch on two things. The first thing is that Kevin Samuels held men accountable. Really? He would say, if you don't have certain things but you are studying, women, stop that, because you can't provide. You can't give the woman what she would need. So he would say to focus on yourself, get what you need to get, and then pursue a woman.
Okay.
The second thing is what Rodi said earlier. If I am the man in the relationship and I am doing the quote-unquote manly things, I'm up on the roof cleaning it, fixing the leaks, dealing with the plumbing, construction, whatever the case may be, cutting the grass around the place. Is it wrong that I should expect the woman that I am with to prepare a meal?
Expect.
Abby, before we play this buzz, could you then answer Rodel?
Okay.
Because I know he's itching.
Nah, you can't let Abby answer and go straight to buzz. There's a whole conversation.
Because he wants to rebut.
Yeah,
This
but
is my
the
thing.
show is 1 hour anyway, feel.
Yes.
Only
Okay.
in 2 weeks. You will 2 all again on there.
Time,
This is my thing.
All this in time?
And this is where the why the conversation and what the things Kevin Samuel and the like promotes is problematic. This idea of expectation. And that's why I ask, if you don't eat.
Zero expectation.
If you don't eat. You understand?
Right.
Why it is we feel as though, and what was very telling is how you framed the conversation. And that is what is making me itch. How you framed how you frame the conversation, because you frame the conversation in terms of men, in terms of men and vehicles and driving, etc., which we know is a stereotypical man thing. Wait, that's how you framed it, and then you spoke about women in the context of cooking.
Right.
Happy homemaker, etc., etc. Now, I'm not saying, wow,
she's not about that.
You know, the tennis commentary in the background.
As a remember, I said it both ways,
wait,
Abby.
Wait. You said it both ways after the fact, but
No,
the initial
all right, go ahead.
The initial framing of the conversation put men in a particular pocket and put women in a particular pocket, which is exactly what we're talking about in the first place. Now, my thing is, if a woman can cook or chooses to cook, That's cool. That's fine. But this idea that we immediately equate certain roles to women and certain roles to men is another. Because you said, if you are a woman, wait, hold on, and I quote, if you are a woman and you're over 35 and you can't turn at least one pot, you equated that to the wastemanism, which we are now using as a verb. Right. The wastemanism of being over 35 and not being able to drive. Do we see how that may be considered problematic?
With the premise of also understanding that it goes both ways. If a man is 35 and you cannot make one meal,
thank you.
You're looking for.
But you didn't say that before, though. You didn't say that before.
I did.
He did. But he didn't explain it.
You jump on
like
your
this.
high horse and you're riding to the sunset. What I say? Yeah, you come down from there.
Rudy's galloping, guys. Rudy's galloping on the horse.
You jump on the high horse before.
That's not how you framed it, sir.
All right. So what I'm saying,
it
must go both ways. Forget the cooking, forget the changing of the tire, right? I am just talking about if you are looking.
Yes, he did gallop.
He did. He galloped.
If you are looking for relationship, connection, family, building a union, building something that you're looking for legacy. You must have some sort of skill set in order to survive out here, Jed.
And nobody is disputing that. I'm talking about how we frame it.
You just come in and all you could offer is jam?
And that goes both ways, isn't it?
Of course it does.
Well, say that.
And I'm not saying no.
Well, say that.
Of course it goes both ways.
But the fact that you specifically, you specifically,
men,
because I'll pull the tape.
35 men and women, if you can't turn just one, bro. And I never say you gotta cook every day for a man if you think no. And that's not what I'm saying. If you are over 35 and looking for a relationship, you're looking to build a family, you can't turn one pot, boy.
Everybody has to have a particular skill set. And this is what we're talking about in terms of roles.
No.
Because the same thing could be said about a woman over 35 who can't drive. The same thing could be said about a woman over 35 who can't drive.
Very well.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
And this is why we're saying we need to abandon these ideas of who's supposed to do what and whatnot. I might be in a relationship where the man is the person who cooks, or the man is the one staying home.
I'm okay
I have
a
couple friends. The man is the one who is at home with the family, and the woman is the one who's going out to work.
Because God forbid one of us falls sick, right?
Thank you. How are carrying you in the hospital?
Exactly. So,
but that's not how you framed it initially, and that's why you were making me itch.
You wasn't listening to me.
No,
all right, guys,
pal.
I to scratch before.
No, pal.
Finish what I was
saying.
No,
pal.
Abby was scratching, guys. What Rodell was saying is, let me just break it back down for you guys. What Rodell was saying is that, brother, if right now you're 35 and you're listening to us on your way to work,
and you can't drive or cook.
Hold on. In a maxi.
You can't drive or cook.
If you are 35, let me finish now. I'll let all you talk. If you are 35 in a maxi right now, you do not own a car, you cannot drive, you cannot change the tire. Waste of a man. Know that going to work, know that you always
if you are looking for family,
oh my God,
and you are looking to build a union, not if you're by yourself and you're good,
brother.
Go ride in your maxi.
How I interpret it,
take your boss.
Is you are 35 in a boss shoot maxi
you
right now.
Responsible for you.
You're now past beat money boss shoot.
You are only
and you cannot change the tire.
You.
You have no driver's permit. Roaders say,
bro,
waste of time.
He's a waste man.
Ladies, if you are sitting next to a man in a maxi taxi right now, on your way to work, you're by the beat traffic light, you're heading to Polish and you have no car, you're living home over 35, and you don't cook and you cannot turn a pot.
Wow. And you're not giving your man sex more than 5 times for the month, because apparently we're marking it off on calendars now.
Wow, only real bitter boy. Guys,
so let's twist everything.
That's the Rody and Abby show. Time for this. Play all apologies. I'm now telling Abby and Rody to keep their fighting to a minimum. Come next week, quarrel each other off air. All right?
Good morning, 96.1. I just want to say happy birthday to David Rudder, the icon of Trinidad and Tobago. From your hairdresser, from Cuthbert Circular, Tima, and Jalanta, Janoshika, Jalissa, Jamila, Javier, Jayuni, Jocolia, Joquilla, Amila, Ariana, Lorna, Sharon. Happy birthday, David Rudder. And also want to say happy birthday to Amila, Jayuni, and Ariana.
Yes, happy birthday to David.
Imagine them father can't drive.
Rody.
Hey, Abby.
Rody.
Good job, very good.
Now I real
One
fed up
more.
for you,
Just
know.
one more, please.
I real fed up for you, know.
So, there's society standards, and then there's the standards of the people who are most influential in your life, whether it be your grandparents, your godparents, your parents, or whatever. I grew up as the only female in my house, only girl child in my house, and my mother used to push it in my hand. Make sure you have your own things, so no man can this, and if you leave, and or if the relationship thing down in shambles, you have your own thing to fall back on. And those were things that were based on her experience. So I got my own stuff from an early time. But then I was knocked down off of that pedestal by a brethren telling me, you had this, you had that, you had the other by society standards. So you are a unicorn, and in that you're a threat to man because he feel intimidated by you, and all he could bring to the table is DD. When you stop thinking on society standards, stop listening to the empty noise and living in your own by what you feel is good for you and becoming happy within yourself, them things don't really matter. But yeah, a man had to have your own car.
Yeah. Yeah, let the man eat
Neighbor standards.
And neighbor, you just continue spending the extra 1,200 for him and carry him on trips. That's all we need.
Wow.
It's all good, you know. Good as feel for a man to just be taken on a trip.
Okay.
And you just let me stay in the road and for a week.
Agreed.
Nah, that was a girl cruise. That was a girl thing. She didn't take no man on
We
that.
all like trips.
She have standards and limits too.
We all
She's do it once
like
a year.
trips.
She ain't carry no man
We
no
all
3-4
like
times a
trips.
year. Nah, you're mad. That waste, man. She giving a man a one trip.
We all like trips. Okay? Right.
Yeah, we all like. Hey guys, we gotta go. We have to have.
Yo, just want to touch on the topic. Boy, well, you're on point, but I have a girl and she do cook. And I tell my family, hey, she do cook. You would tell me, pray about it.
Take it to the Lord in prayer.
We gone. Whatever issues you're facing this weekend,
take it to the Lord in prayer.
Take it to the Lord in prayer.
Pray on your hungry belly.
You understand? You're hungry? Pray on it.
Oh Lord, to marry for some healing.
Yeah.
Right?
Pray on it.
Nice.
See if you go sell a ramen. We gone.